I'm Bob Stone, the chair of the Underhill Selectboard. Today is the 27th of June. It is now 6:02. We are live and in the virtual environment. I'm going to hand off running the meeting to Dan Steinbauer for this meeting. And I thank Dan for doing that.
We begin with an opening public comment. Is anybody here to do the opening public comment? I see nobody on the Zoom, so we will move on to the first item on the agenda, which is the 2024 Harvest Market.
Thank you. I'm Dave Clift. I'm the chairperson of the steering committee. Also here is Chris Larson and Tim Wilma, who also are members of the steering committee for Harvest Market. Every year we come in to the select board and notify the select board of the dates of the current year. This year, Harvest Market will be held the last full weekend of the month of September, 28th and 29th. Each year when I come in to talk to the select board, there are a few items that we like to review and a few items that we want to confirm with the select board and get approval for. And then this year there's a couple of extra pieces that maybe want to have a little bit more discussion about. The first is every year we place signs along the road leading to Underhill Flats Common in and about the Underhill area, notifying folks the Harvest Market is about to happen. That usually is about 1 to 2 weeks prior to the event that we put those signs up. We want to make you aware of that so that when you see them, you'll know that that's official. We request to use the common, which is opposite the church at Route 15 and Park Street as part of the Harvest Market activities. That spur of Park Street, which is between the church and that common, we ask typically every year to close that road during the Harvest Market hours, which are Saturday 9 to 4 and 9 to 5, and Sunday 9:30 to 3, no, to 4. I'm sorry. We also request to restrict parking on the northeasterly side of Park Street. What we want to do is keep one side of the street open from vehicles parking so that there's plenty of access for emergency vehicles down Park Street. And then to restrict parking on the southerly side of Park Street from Route 15 to the telephone office as well. The new item, so that's typically what we do every year and have done that for many years. The other piece that Bob and I have had just small tidbits of discussions on and wanted to bring it to the select board is the possibility of closing Park Street at Route 15 down to GAR Place. And so what that would mean would be a reroute of folks that want to go Park Street off of Route 15 down to River Road, cross River Road, and then can access Park Street from that angle up into GAR Place, so that all the people that live on that street have access to their homes and so forth without having to go into this no park or no this closed zone, except for the one white house that's directly across the entrance of the church on Park Street. So we would need to get with those folks and talk with them. But
so people generally kite off of 15, that usual direction.
Right. So what we've done and what we've allowed in the past is Park Street from Route 15 has always been open all the way down to River Road.
Right.
So what we're finding is with the numbers of people that we have, that section of Park Street gets pretty busy. The only something that just came to mind is we do have a shuttle run that goes from Park Street down Route 15 to Riverside Park, over to Browns River Middle School, and then back. So that goes in that loop in a counterclockwise direction, which may pose some problems for us if we have that shuttle going. So we need to think about that. But I wanted to open that up for discussion if people think that that is something that may enhance safety and pedestrian flow and so forth in that area.
So I want to start off by saying thank you for coming to the board. You guys have always done a bang up job every single year that I've been on the board, and very professional and putting up the signs and everything like that. And I really truly appreciate all of your hard work. I know we have spoken in the past about closing the road, and I know that we have talked about one of the reasons why, it may be looked upon as not wanting to do that is because, there are people that want to drop folks off, or maybe with a band or something like that. I can tell you from events that I have just participated in recently that there's almost an expectation when we put barriers across the road and it looks like it's closed, and parents let their children run maybe a little bit more freely than what they normally would. And when barriers come down, like cones, and a car comes through, we hope that whoever's operating that vehicle is going to see a child. In my mind, there's way too many people. The risk is too high. If we are going to close the road, which I do not have a problem with doing, but a physical barrier must be in place, and the physical barrier does not come down. Once the barrier goes up, it stays up until the end of the day, and then the barrier gets moved, because there's just too many people, there's too many kids. The expectation is now the road is closed, the food is right there on the green. Parents are letting their kids run freely, and we hope again that everyone is going to see every little tyke that wants to go over and get a glass of apple cider. And I don't need to go too much. I want it to continue to be successful.
The shuttle, that would be a problem, because if they're permanent barriers, then the shuttle couldn't go through either. And you haven't thought about that.
Right, that's something that just kind of like, oh yeah, this is going to be a proposal.
Well, it's only you're only talking that short stretch from 15 to GR Place.
Yeah.
And that's really what, 300 feet? 400 feet?
Yeah.
So GR Place would be a good place to
Turn around.
Yeah.
Or in Jacobs.
How will you bring the residents on board in between those points?
Well, they'll be able to get to GR Place, the residents of GR Place. It's only the one residence in between
Right.
GR
Yeah,
Place.
there is a residence directly across from the parsonage who we know quite well, and there's the next house door to them west.
Right, they'd be the only two.
Only two that wouldn't have access to.
I can see you enhancing their benefit, with some coupons or something to sweeten the deal.
Yes.
And they make sure that they're able to, if they have to go out, they have a car on the outside, and that they have a place to park it.
Yes.
How did that, we focused on that spur closing, because while we tried to do it, we were more intentional last year. Did that work out well, and did that make people more comfortable with that?
It did work well, but to Bob's point, we allow our entertainment crews to drive into that spot, unload, drive out. And to your point, I think that needs to be looked at very closely, once again, to your point. I think that's a very valid situation. So I think that's something that we can manage by just opening up a spot.
I mean, I'd be willing to offer you my UTV, you know, and you can, you know, it's like a little four-wheeler with a back end, you know, it only goes like 2 or 3 miles an hour, you know, people can put this stuff on there and, you know, it's like a glorified golf cart, you know, type of thing. And, you know, I think, you know, something like that, you know, would be, you know, okay. It's just that when you have, I just get concerned when, you know, you see a car, you know, and you just hope that, you know, everything's going to work out.
Right.
And it has for over 50
Right.
years now, right? It's gone perfectly, you know, and I just want that tradition and trend to continue going in that direction and not go on the other side.
Right. And it only takes one. So over planning is okay with me.
I like your point about making it permanent, no exceptions, being clear, communication, you know, with everybody involved. Figure out the shuttle in a different way, maybe, you know, around the brick house, you know, coming back and forth. Or up to GR Place, however it works. Yeah.
I think if we can continue to work well with one another, I think that we can make it all work. It's just a matter of ironing out the finer details. I have no doubt in my mind that, you know, the town and, you know, the Harvest Market crew is going to continue to have a long, good working relationship. So I have no doubt in my mind about any of that. So.
Get a little time. Really, the pressing thing here is to get authorized me to sign the 1111 permit.
Right, so there is the 1111 permit, which is a permit that goes through VTRANS, and that's to allow us to put no parking signs along Route 15 from the town border with Jericho down to approximately the fire station. What that does is it allows us to close that section of road on the right side to make sure it's in, I'm sorry.
West side.
West side, that's correct.
So I move that we authorize Brad to sign the VTRANS 1111 permit to benefit both the town and the Harvest Market folks to limit the parking on Route 15.
Usually I'm always with,
I'll second that.
I just say I'm always there with Dan Mance and we put the signs up together.
Right,
So
right.
if I'm going to sign the permit, I'm going to ensure the signs are up. So
Any other discussion on that motion?
there is just along with that, there's a memorandum or a letter of support that goes along with that. I'll doctor this up.
Right,
Maybe a little bit
right,
different.
and that accompanies that 111 permit to the state police, which gives us an assembly permit that we have to have with them.
I'll amend the motion to include the memorandum as we've always signed, you know, sent along with that. To be
I'll second the amendment.
signed by Brad, the town administrator. What else can we do?
All in favor of the, let's get this out of the way. All in favor of the motion as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes carry that motion 3-0. Do we need a motion to approve the other requests, or are they
I think we
fairly?
can come back to it. I think let's put heads together and, you know, figure some more out. And I don't think this is the last time we're going to talk about it, but I think we're going in the right direction.
I'd like to do that as well.
Yeah,
Because
and-
then I can make some plans around what we're gonna do with the shuttle and then how we're gonna deal with other.
Yeah, and if you could make the requests in a list.
Yep.
And then we can just go at it all together. Because I like the way you're thinking.
Thanks. Well, I have some help.
Yeah, give me a call or
Yeah.
we'll run into one another.
So two other items, just really quickly. One is that this is our 50th year running the Harvest Market event. And so we'll be doing a few different things in the programming and so forth. There won't be big changes, but what we will be doing is offering a celebration event the 12th of October. It's an invitational. So we, looking to invite folks that have been involved year to year, the select board and so forth. If you have other people that you feel important, you would love to have come to the event, we're going to be inviting the neighbors directly affected. So how many, 80 or so houses around there, maybe not 80, but 40, 50, in that region.
I'm sure it's grown since 50 years started.
Yeah, and we're going to be holding that at the Mansfield Barn. So be really close, and we're really excited about that. So we'll be getting word out to folks about that. The other piece is that unofficially, we had a person who approached us who's a professional counter of participants at events like this. And they asked us if we knew how many people had been attending Harvest Market. And we said maybe 7,000, 8,000. And his opinion was it was more around 20,000 people on Saturday. And with that growth comes a lot of additional responsibilities and a lot of additional headaches. Just as an FYI to you, we'll be going to the select board in Jericho. We're looking to be putting more porta potties out around the Underhill flat area to accommodate people other than the 10 or 12 that we had right on site. And we're also looking at some traffic control at River Road and Route 15, so we can keep traffic flowing a little more smoothly down there. So those are things that we're going to be approaching them on. The Harvest Market Committee is resolute in that. If we get funding from them, great. If we don't, we're still going to move forward with it and manage it ourselves. But this event has become much bigger than just what we do on the property at the United Church of Underhill. Most of that, like 95% of that, is in Jericho. So I'm going to them and trying to help get some more responsibility from them and helping us keep this a great event. So just wanted you to know that, so that if you're hearing anything, that you're aware of that.
Do you plan weddings or festivities aside from the Harvest Market? Because you clearly have a talent. Type of thing that,
I'm trying to build houses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
I'm trying to build houses. And actually, I'm part of what's next on the agenda as well. So 2 very important things for me.
Well, let us know how we can help.
I will.
So just a quick, in case I don't catch you tomorrow, so that's really October 12th.
That's correct.
Okay.
No. This is the 50th for the September 28th and 29th. This is just general. They don't care about the celebration. This is just our 50th.
I thought I read. I guess I missed that. I was reading it here, I think. Okay. Thanks.
And the other thing, I can't take credit for all that goes on. I have an incredible volunteer staff of, a lot of people. These 3 people here at one group, and without them, we couldn't make that happen either. So
You just draw the small straw, so you're the one that has to sit before the board, right? Yeah.
and I get to clean porta potties too. So,
Oh, yay.
The resume just increases every day.
it's incredible, isn't it?
It is. It is.
All right, I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we have the Jericho-Underhill food help requests. Hi, Sandy.
I'm Sandy Wilmot, representing the Underhill side of this newly formed Jericho-Underhill Food Hub. And with me today is Lisa Hoare, and Dave Cliff is from Jericho, as you know. A little bit about this organization. I did put that in your packet. But it's new. We really held our first meetings this January. And we're drawing a lot from what Jericho had already done to some background work about what would really be helpful to our communities in terms of, supporting our local farms, growing that so that we can be a little bit more self-sufficient, making community come together around food, which is a really easy thing to do because we all like food. And, educating both the public about the value of eating good food as well as the value of supporting the farm so that we continue to have farms. So we're trying to support a number of different objectives with the Food Hub. It's a group of about 18 to 25 from Jericho and Underhill that are sort of the support group. And we have started meeting monthly to organize things. Often people think of a food hub as a physical location, which in the future may be something we arrive at, but initially we're trying to build momentum around it so that when we do get some sort of physical location, we will have enough support to sustain that over time. So far, we have done a brochure which has all of the local farms of Jericho and Underhill. If you didn't get one in the mail, there's some here. And that has been really successful in connecting people, farms to people. Like Retribe is, they have a summer program, and they realize there's chickens to be had in Underhill Flats. So people are connecting to the local food sources. So I think that's been very helpful. We've had farm forums so that farmers can collaborate. You might have noticed at Chamberlain's, there's a potato patch, which is a community effort, and that will go to the food shelf when it's harvested. But the idea is to get local people to help grow, and then that will go down to the food shelf. We also are in the process of forming quarterly community meals focused around our local foods. And that's what I'm here today about. We are planning a community brunch in August, which will feature local blueberries from the Covered Bridge Blueberry Farm, as well as local salad greens and foods that are from the farm. So it will advertise local foods. It'll bring community together around those foods and allow neighbors to meet neighbors and strengthen the community is the idea there. This is our first one, and what I would like is to see if the town of Underhill could help support that financially. We are offering this free by donation if people want to donate. What we have found at our United Church of Underhill community dinners is that if you offer free meals by donation, eventually that donation pot becomes able to support the whole program. So that's sort of what we're hoping for in the future there. Yeah, so that's what I'm here for. Jericho is also being approached for donation, and my suggestion is $250. So.
The way to get this in the budget so that it's consistent,
Yeah.
you probably know, it needs to be the first time an article on the town meeting ballot. So the budget for this fiscal year, which is Monday, is already set.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a list of benevolences. I'm not precluding or discouraging, anything that we can do.
Right,
But-
yeah.
But the way to get it formulated is to have the people of the town approve it, with an amount. And, I believe we get a budget or something as part of the request, or a formal request from an agency.
That's usually the way it happens, but if I think I understood Sandy right, you're just looking for some seed money to hopefully this will sustain itself through donations. In the
Right,
future, this is kind of a one-time.
that was the idea.
Right.
I didn't know if there was a,
I led Sandy, I said, well, the select board does have a contingency fund, and you're more than welcome to, ask for that, but
What do we have left in this fiscal year?
That has been overspent in this fiscal year, but we have a new fiscal year starting on Monday, so
Right. And what's that amount?
$10,000.
Okay.
I privately will support you. And would encourage others to support you if we do not have the funds available to us on the board. Would encourage other members of the board and other members in the public to see if they can help you get to that $250 threshold. So I will pledge money to you to help you with that.
I appreciate that. And, we could start advertising on Front Porch Forum and solicit some donations as well.
is it something that you think you might want to have? Like if you, what Dan was suggesting, you could go that route as well for next budget.
Right, that will,
Put in a request.
yeah. And we'll look into that. And, maybe there are other needs that we have that really could benefit from an ongoing town support. But, at this point in time, we started in January, so we certainly weren't in the budget cycle for this event. Yeah. So would you like to support it through the town, or are you suggesting that we just go after private donations?
I don't know that we have the funds right now unless we are going to look into the next fiscal year is what I'm understanding Jennifer to say. So unless the board wants to look at, funds for, unless we're thinking that we're going to take money from somewhere else in the budget, it appears like we're tapped, with that fund. Unless we're looking at doing something for the next fiscal year. And Dan said that, the way that we need to go about that is to put, it forward with an article. So I guess what I'm understanding and hearing is that private is the way to go at this point in time. And then, if you want to go after town funds, then there's a process to go forward with that and to submit that and to have that as an article on the, for the residents to consider. But I'm happy to leave me your address.
We
And I
have
will
a post office box and it's on here, so I'll
make sure you leave that, did I get one?
So it's August 11th, so it'll be within the next fiscal year.
yeah, it will be in August.
Within the event.
Yeah. But what
So-
you're
so-
saying is right now you're in this fiscal
What
year.
you're looking ahead.
I'm looking for funds to help support this August effort that's coming right up.
Okay, so your timing,
So if I came like in 2 weeks, you'd be in a new fiscal year.
yeah, we would. We do have some money to deal with, and we can talk about it. And I would suggest to make it cleaner, because the decisions that we make tonight need to happen, before Monday, fiscally.
Okay. Well, if you invite me back, I'll come back.
We'll come back, you come back next time we get together.
Okay. That's,
I mean, you can't make a, well, okay, sounds good. I'll just leave it be.
okay,
It keeps it clean.
yes, I see what you mean. Well, thank you for
The
your time.
auditors love it.
Yeah, the auditors would prefer it, but it's not, I don't think it's a big deal, but it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I'll leave these here, and if there's extra,
Right.
put them out.
Yeah, I've been putting them out as I can.
Yeah.
I brought mine from home and put it out there too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't.
Even if it- Thanks.
Yeah, I don't understand this.
Next on the budget is the sheriff's contract. And I could just speak a couple words here. So we've all looked over the contract.
Mhm.
The contract is for 11.2 hours per week. This is for fiscal year 25, totaling $38,000, which is what the voters approved at town meeting.
So you need a motion to sign the contract?
Yes.
Move that we authorize Brad to sign the fiscal year 25 Chittenden County Sheriff's contract for the town of Underhill.
Second that. Discussion. Yeah, it's, I think that, leaving it the way it is a good thing, honoring what they're requesting. I like, what we've been using a lot for is speed control. I like the extra money that we're putting into the signs.
Yeah.
Rather than increasing this and getting another contract with VSP, I think the signs are effective.
I think they're really effective. I think a lot of people have commented on that. I think it's helping on Park Street where it seems to be a little bit, chaotic, certain times of the day, with people zipping through, type of thing. To beat the buses or whatever the case may be, so.
As long as we're on the topic, I'll say something personal about Range Road. It may be a good idea to put the sign, if we anticipate when there's a lot of guard activity up there. This week was one of those weeks, a lot of truck traffic, and there's no school. And there are an increased amount of children on that road, I tell you. I was noticing from a distance down the hill, a couple days ago, it was 5 o'clock. I could hear a lot of kids riding bikes, playing in the road. It's normally a quiet, peaceful place. It's not like River Road. And there was a lot of truck traffic. They were crawling. Yeah, I liked that. They were stopped and then they were just crawling along. However, oftentimes they're racing up. I don't know if they're going more than 25 or not, but they're big trucks. It looks like more, but it may be a good idea to put that sign up for a few days during a heavy week so that the people who are driving and the
But we
guard,
can collect some data as well.
yeah, the guard itself is pretty faithful. However, there's a lot of out-of-state guards that use this place. They don't know Range Road. They don't know the history, and they might be a little frisky. So that would be a personal request as a resident of Range Road. Any other discussion on the?
I just have one question. Is this a change from last year's contract in the amount of the 38,000, or is this same as last year?
No, it's an increase.
It's an increase because of their increase. We're not increasing the hours. We're approving their
The hourly
increase.
rate.
It was year before last, or the last fiscal year, we upped the hours.
Yeah, this one's no hour increase, but their hourly rate increase, so the total contract.
And if you look at the price of what the hourly rate, it's pretty incredible, actually. I'm not sure how they,
They make good to work with.
it's a good rate.
Yeah, it's good to have their presence.
And I can just tell you, Dan, for Dan's benefit here, Dan K's benefit, that, the sheriff's here, like if we have a wind event or something, I show up here, they've already been out, they've checked a lot of the roads. They do a lot of other things than just speed control. They keep an eye on the state park. You know, they noticed the car Jennifer and I were talking about that have been parked up there for a long time. And yeah, they do a lot of great things. And they're a great partner, I think. Speaking from the town hall.
Mhm.
And they're a lot less expensive to contract with than the state police.
Right. Can imagine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes carry this motion 3-0.
So the 12 Dumas Road buyout, I think I told you a little bit about it, Dan, but so we're at we had a recent real estate appraisal that we paid for, and of course, real estate prices have gone up. FEMA has approved so in your packet is a voluntary transaction agreement with the new appraised value. Basically, between FEMA and the state of Vermont, they are going to pay 100% cost for 12 Dumas Road. In addition, there's monies for demolition and various other things that's in the total grant award. We would basically contract that work out and then get reimbursed from FEMA. So my recommendation is to just authorize Bob at some point, it doesn't have to be tonight, but at some point to sign these documents, and then we can wait for the landowner to see if they're ready. They have the documents. She's been reviewing them. So at least we'll be ready on our end.
So we have to finish up the job on our end before she can sign.
No, we don't have to, but she could sign it first. But I'm just saying, I haven't heard back from her. She has the documents.
Okay.
Let's sign our part, showing our commitment is going to be my recommendation. And it can't go forward without her signature, obviously.
Correct. Well, I will move that we authorize Bob Stone, the chair of the select board, to sign the FEMA documents at the appropriate time for 12 Dumas Road.
I could just be a little bit more specific. It's the FEMA voluntary transaction agreement, and it's the state of Vermont grant agreement, amended agreement for those two documents.
Please use that verbiage in the formulation of the motion for the minutes. Thank you, Donna.
And I can second that. I'm not sure if that was right.
Is there any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. With no opposition, this motion passes 3-0.
$640, it's
Town Highway Supervisor.
Before we just do that, normally in the beginning, we do adjustments to the agenda if possible. I realize we didn't do that. I just would like to add one quick thing during my time, if that's okay with you, if I've not purchased anything, just a public comment or anything. Okay.
what is it, so I can put it on for the record?
It's just about lowering the settlement road. Okay.
Okay, Laura, English settlement road update.
I'll start with that. Just to let everybody know, first of all, really appreciate again the select board and taking the time out of the meeting to go up to review our work, which meant a lot to us and so on. But I just want to let everybody know that the job is 99% complete. We have just a little bit more left to do, but we had to pull out there to go on to another job before the end of the month. So we'll be going back up to do a little bit more touch-up work we have to do, but other than that, it is complete. And just for the record, I'd like to thank the wonderful road crew that the town has. John and Alex Angelino, who are top-notch operators, did a fantastic job. Anchor Foundations, who did the head wall on the culvert. We had a couple of trucking companies that helped us haul in some material, which is T. Clark Enterprise, and John French and Sons. I'd like to also thank the residents of Lower New Settlement who worked very well with us. Communicated with everybody up through there, and everybody was very willing to work with us. And everybody's very happy up there. So I'd like to thank those residents as well as the people that travel that road who were very good about us having the road blocked and not being able to get through. So nobody really complained too bad. So that makes it easier on our part. And the St. Thomas Church, the cemetery location, which took a lot of our ditch material that we pulled out of there for their increasing of their cemetery on Range Road. Without that, we would have a tough time finding a place to put 150 some odd loads of fill that we took out of that road. So I'd like to thank those people for a job well done. And if you ever have a chance to take a cruise up through there, it'll be well worth it. It came out very, very nice.
As long as you're extending gratitude, I think that we ought to mention for the public record, and maybe you can explain it more, the grant that helped to pay for it all,
Yes.
the Better Back Roads.
Mhm.
That, can you just say a couple words about that?
Sure. Yeah, well, we received, the town applied for and received a Better Back Roads grant for roughly $70,000. So, and 20% of that was the town's match. And the beauty with the grant is we get to use our time as the match. So the equipment time and our labor is used to the match. So there's no money out of pocket. So we'll get the full grant award. I'm going to close that out tomorrow. So it'll be $57,000. We also closed another grant that was for $31,000 yesterday. I closed that out. It was a Better Back Roads, which helped pay for the segments in between the big culvert. So the segments we looked at on our field visit, those two segments were paid for with the grants and aid money. So two separate grants, almost roughly $100,000 helped to pay for that.
The state of Vermont can know that their money was well spent.
Yes.
Very proud of the job.
Thank you, Russ.
Absolutely. And then the other thing I wanted just to get approval on tonight is going back to February, when I came to the board to purchase blades for our snow plow for soft plowing, for mud season plowing, I'll call it. And it was denied at the time and was commented that if we had money left in July or before July, then we could look at it at that point. So here we are, just prior to July. We are still in hopes that we can get these blades, and we really wish we had them in March, but we got through it. And a lot of benefits of having these type of blades. The price did not change from February, so it's the same price.
Can you explain, especially for the public record, the benefit of these blades and why the other ones aren't as good?
Sure. So think about when you're plowing a road, the plows are designed to scrape the road to get all, and they works well when the roads are frozen. And so it scrapes right down, and then after plowing, we sand the road. So it's no different than if you take a piece of paper, a credit card, or whatever you want to do, and just go down a flat surface, and that's good plowing. But as you all know, we had a lot of warm-ups this winter, which caused the roads to be very soft and muddy. And when you try to plow with those type of blades, you dig a lot, or you have to carry your plow and you don't get all the snow. And the roads are not perfectly flat like a table, so there's a lot of ups and downs. And when doing that, your plow can dig in. It can either cause an accident, it can cause you to push you into the opposite lane. It can cause you to dig in and drive over your snowplow, which can cause major damage to a piece of equipment, as well
Drive over your snowplow.
Yeah, so the plow is pinned with two pins to the front of your truck. with a chain that lifts it up. So if you dig in, the truck has so much momentum behind it that when the plow can dig in, the truck can go like this, break the chain, and then the plow ends up underneath your truck. So your truck's sitting up in the air like this. Fortunately, that has not happened to
Has
us.
that ever happened?
Not to
I
us.
saw it in Jericho.
Jericho had it happen last year and put a truck out of service for months, and big repairs. It happened in Hyde Park last year.
The speed involved in that, I mean, when it's soft, you could obviously have to go a lot slower
Going slow.
trying.
Jericho was turning onto, I think it was Shellhammer Road. So they're just turning onto a road and you're not going fast at all when you're turning on the road. Just, you have so much weight and momentum and power behind that it just, and it happens so quick.
I think it's one of those things that really gets your attention, like you're going along really well, and then all of a sudden.
The other thing it does for us is when you're scraping soft roads, you're getting a lot of dirt, mud, gravel, and as you know, the plows are pushing it off to the side of the road. So it's pushing all the material off to the side of the road. So you notice, like what is normally a white snowbank has a lot of dirt in it. So when that snow melts, that dirt drops right there. You've
Those
got
are ditches.
it fills your ditches, you get berms, so it causes more work in the spring. And then, when things melt, you don't get water going off the side of the road, you get it running against the berm and down the road. And
Mhm.
so there's a lot of benefits. And these style blades, instead of being straight down like this, they're curved at the bottom. So they're riding on a curve, so you don't have that sharp dig. And the fortunate thing for us is we have 3 spare plows that we've been able to either keep when we've traded in a truck, or so we would have a plow for our dirt road trucks set up with these blades all mounted to it for soft going. So we don't have to dismount and mount blades from plow to plow. If it's good going, we've got these our normal plows. And then if it's soft going, we will have our backup plows with those blades all on them. So it'll be a quick change if we needed to.
So you mentioned in your request that there was damage to one of our,
Yeah, we had
one or two of our blades that you had to get repaired. How much did that cost us?
in the vicinity of $600 to $700
Really?
for parts. We were able to, luckily there were pieces that broke, and we didn't have to do any fabrication. They're all bolt-on pieces, so.
Because of the pressure, the additional pressure of
So
digging in?
The parts that broke the plows have shoes, they call them banana boat shoes. They're about that long, shaped like a banana. And so they ride on the ground, but they pivot like this to go with the contour of the road. So what happens is they dig in, so they go like this, and then it breaks the shoe and it breaks the bracketry that it's all bolted to the plow. So luckily there were replaceable pieces that we could get, and we had on hand, thankfully. And then trying to replenish that stock, well, guys were out of them because they sold so many of them. And we
So
actually,
other people damaged their
Oh,
blades
yes.
as well?
oh yeah.
And how is this going to be paid for? This is out of the truck maintenance?
Yeah, so
And
all
there's
of
money
our,
for
yeah,
that?
so anything to do with the truck maintenance, whether it's plow blades, tires, truck, oil comes out different, but filters or any kind of repairs to the trucks come out of that line.
And there is money for
And
it?
there's money in that line. Yep,
That would be out of this fiscal year?
yes.
Yes.
Seems like it's worth it, especially since you have a whole nother set of plows. I was thinking, it's like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna change your plow cutting edges before you go out? That seems crazy. But now you get a
Plow's all set up.
all set up.
How are we doing maintenance wise on the rest of the equipment? Are we in good shape, or do we have some things that still need to be tended to?
Everything right now, after we just had the 2018 repaired, which was a pretty good hefty repair, everything's going good right now.
We're not in the red.
Definitely not.
I think it's a no-brainer then. We have money in the budget. That's what its intended purpose is. If it's gonna save us time and energy, and frustration for these guys that work long hours. It seems like it's a no-brainer to me, and I think we should approve it and move on.
One more question. So the town plows, they don't have the capability of raising the plow. They're all just drop on the ground or nothing. Because I know that my plow guy, when it's muddy and soft, I said, lift your plow. And he does. He has the capability to ride with the plow 4 inches off the ground.
You can. What we try to do is, with good frozen roads, we drop the plow and leave slack in the chain, so they're riding on the road.
Mhm.
When it's soft, we lift it so there's tension on the chain, so it's kind of up in the air. Now, if you think about going up, and your road's a little different because it's blacktop and it's smooth, but if you
No,
think
no, it
about
isn't
going up,
black. It's crap.
your driveway, but
My
like
driveway.
range road, but if you think like Jennifer or Bob on your roads, it's, they're like this. So when the truck's coming up like this, and you keep your plow up, and the road goes down like this, you're not just leaving a couple inches, you could be leaving 6 inches.
Yeah,
or 8 inches
that
by the time you get back down. So it's a constant this when you're plowing soft roads and you're trying to keep your wing, you can keep off the ground a little bit because that's out of the portion of the travel portion of the road. So we can keep that off the ground a little bit to get the snow pushed back still. But
So you would probably still, these plows are for, those storms late in the, or early in the spring that happened late in the winter when it was really soft. That's what that is good for. But you kind of,
it was all a lot of winter this year. It was like that.
yeah, and correct. But you normally do that depending on the roads. That is one trick in your bag that you're able to.
And it's a constant, you're not just driving the truck, you're up, constantly running your levers to raise your plow, bring back down. And you got to get it down because you're not going to do anything without it hitting the ground.
I move that we approve the purchase of the plow blades for mud plowing. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion that we need to do?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes 3-0 with no opposition.
Thank you.
See if I can catch up a little bit of time. So, every 5 years, we revisit what's called our all hazard mitigation plan. And I put a link. It's kind of for everyone's benefit, but more especially of Dan K's here. If you follow that link, it brings you to the Chittenden County Regional Planning site. So every town is obligated to, and in this mitigation plan, we recognize, weaknesses of the town and where mitigation measures can be taken. So every year we do a report. Excuse me? So every year we do a progress report. So that's in your packet this time. And more or less, you could have a consensus or a motion to accept the progress report. I fill it out with some of Russ's information and other information that we have going, but just part of the obligation of the mitigation plan. So, just like to make a motion to accept it. That would be great.
I move that we accept the 2023 all hazards mitigation plan progress on implementation. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Thanks for your explanation.
The next thing
All in
is.
favor?
Sorry.
Aye.
Aye. With no opposition, 3-0, the motion passes.
So also we are, along those same lines, we have 2 roads that the town owns. We don't have a right of way, we actually own the title of the road. One is Mount Vista, one is Pine Ridge. Every 5 years, we have to update a stormwater plan or stormwater permit that we're obligated to maintain. So back in the winter, the select board had approved Krebs and Lansing to update the plan for Mount Vista. They did the plan prior on Pine Ridge. So I guess I'm looking for authorization to sign the notice of intent, and we'll pay the fee for the application.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Aren't we required to handle stormwater on all the roads?
Yeah, these are special. These are what's called orphan stormwater permits. So back when Act 250 was just coming around, one of the criteria was if a road was over 825 or 850 feet in length, it automatically threw it into Act 250. So it has to do with that. It also has to do with the fact that the developer deeded the road to the town. So we own the land that the road is on, or strip of land that the road is on. So combination of those two things, but these are very strange or very not common permits. Not common at all, but we just happen to inherit it through. But we do have other stormwater permits, the municipal general roads permit that we're obligated to do. That's where we get the grant funding. Yeah, stormwater, clean water is a big deal in Vermont, and we try to do our best. So. Until we get a flood event.
Right. So we have a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The motion passes with no opposition, 3-0.
So Underhill Sidewalk study, so I think I briefly touched for Dan's sake. We received a grant through Chittenden County Regional Planning for a scoping study to try and determine if there are any alternatives to pedestrian and bicycle traffic in Underhill Center. So we've been working on that. We had one meeting, kind of a kickoff meeting. It didn't have a lot of information, but the consultant has been working diligently, and I feel like they're in a lot better place than they were. So we're having a meeting on Monday, July 8th. The select board is welcome to come. It won't be for the select board. It's more for the public to take public input. I think sometime in September, late September, after the information of the public input has been incorporated into the plan, the company will come and do a presentation for the select board, which will be the final presentation. But anyway, I just put the flyer in. I put a link to the CCRPC where you can find more information. But it's July 8th, Monday, July 8th. Open house is from 6 to 6:30. Presentation from 6:30 to 7. Question and answer from 7 to 7:30. So that's.
So more than two of us can come and it won't be a meeting.
I think all of you could come if you wanted to, because you're not conducting business. It's an informational situation. If you obviously can't speak in your official capacity, but you can certainly ask questions.
Great.
I almost made it, 7:01.
Closing public comment. Anyone?
No one here.
Nobody here. We will move on to approve
I wanna
warrants
say
and
something.
minutes.
And
I just want to say how impressed I was with the Recreation Committee with their detouring. I know we will have a debrief and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, later, but I did want to go on the record tonight and say that I was very impressed with the Recreation Committee in having a successful, I believe, event next door here. So I wanted to go on the record and say thank you for putting that in.
Yeah, I anticipate they will be back a few weeks before the next event to put in another request. And we can debrief it and see, what went great, what needs to be.
Right. But I did want to say, like, I was there for 90% of it, and I was impressed.
Very good. I was out of town, I missed it. I will look forward to the next time. So I move that we approve the payroll warrants for 6/19/2024. No, this isn't pay, yes, it is. Is there a
Actually,
second?
yes, was that in your packet? I'm not sure, I don't think it was. But go ahead.
Payroll for 6/19
I think that was,
last time?
no. We may have taken care of that last time. Go ahead and just cover it again. Sorry.
Is there a second?
Sure, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. These payroll warrants are really covered and
They really need to be paid.
Jennifer
they
coming
really
back.
need to
No, I
pay.
think she's gone.
Okay, one thing I was hoping she was gonna explain, but anyway, and then we have the last AP warrant. But also, there's one additional check that was cut, and I don't
For
know.
Civic Plus.
Yes, and we have to take care of that for the fiscal year. That's our subscription for the website for this year. So that was an addition that you did not have. That's a budgeted item.
Do we need to have a separate
Just
motion for that?
include that in your AP
Okay,
warrant, which
okay.
would include the Civic
All right,
Plus.
that's what I thought. I move that we approve the AP warrants for 6/27/2024, including Civic Plus that is on the side of this long pile that is included. Is there a second?
I can second.
Any discussion?
They'd like to get paid too.
All in favor?
Aye.
This motion without opposition carries 3-0.
I'm going to guide you through these minutes, Dan, because they're a little confusing, and there's some we can do, some we can't,
Okay,
if that's okay. So we have Wednesday, June 5th, and that we cannot approve because we don't have a quorum. It was Patty, Dan, and Bob.
okay.
Okay?
We don't have a form.
But we don't have a quorum because Dan wasn't here.
Yeah.
He wasn't elected
Oh,
yet.
I see. Okay.
Wasn't elected
Yeah, yeah.
yet. So I'll just run through these. And I wanted to put them on so they didn't slip through the cracks for next time. So now we have the select board meetings for June 7th. We cannot do those either. Next one is June 13th. That was after the election.
We can't do that because I wasn't there.
Bob wasn't there. Okay, so we're not doing too well. One that we can do, I think, is the emergency meeting we had to do to discuss the grant. So that's June 17th, 2024. Ken?
I move that we approve the minutes for the emergency meeting for June 17th, 2024. Is there a second?
I just want to look at that real. I'll second it. I just need to be refreshed on what we.
It was in the packet.
I know, but I don't have the packet.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Nope, I remember this.
Remember that?
Yes. I'm good. You good?
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This motion without opposition carries 3-0. And that's it.
On the member items, correspondence.
1 out of 4.
I know. Oh, well. Better luck next time.
Not a good batting average. So, yes, member items, correspondence, announcement schedule.
Might not hurt, and we could do it offline as well, but if anybody has any days they know they're not gonna be here, just let me know. I'll send out an email and we can respond, just so we know what's going on.
That would be a good idea,
Okay.
especially rest of the summer.
Something in August is coming up, but I don't know the exact dates, but I'll let you
Okay.
know once I do.
Sounds good. Kind of new news I can tell you about, that Dave maybe alluded to a little bit. The church was awarded the implementation grant for $500,000. So there'll be some work to do to prepare for that, those documents.
Mhm.
Next meeting's on July 11th.
Good.
Fiscal year. Oops.
I guess the only member correspondence that I guess that I'd like to thank Russ and Brad. We did have a storm event that came through. Days are going together, but I think it was over the weekend on Sunday. Russ reached out to me early on Sunday, and I appreciate that. I was out of town traveling back from New Hampshire, dropping my son off at summer camp. I think the town dodged, a major event. I think I know there's towns surrounding us that did not do as well as we did. I know that there are some residents that are struggling right now, but I think that the road crew is doing what they can, that are town roads. But I think we fared fairly well, but there are some residents that are, having to deal with some significant erosion and washouts problems right now. So I do want to thank Brad and Russ, and I'm not sure if any of the other road crew guys went out that night or, having to deal with that, but I did want to say thank you for what you guys did.
You're very welcome.
Hopefully, the weather will start behaving.
I guess I just want to also add that I did authorize Russ to assist the town of Bolton. They lost the Bolton Access Road to one lane, and similar to what we did last time, they were looking for assistance there. Their road crew is, they're running with a skeleton crew, and Russ reached out and I said that I thought that was the right thing to do. So I think we sent a truck over, and we spent a few hours helping them out, and they in return have helped us out with hydro seeding on Lower English Settlement Road. So I think it's just a case of a neighbor helping a neighbor when the time is right.
Yeah, I like working together with the other towns. I think that really is a positive thing.
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, I move that we adjourn. No.
I'll let him say second because I think I said it too many times tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.